Okay, let's start this deep dive right in the thick of it. I mean, picture this. A mother calls her son. She's asking, when's the wedding? And he just says, completely casual, oh, we already got married yesterday. We only invited special people.
Wow. Yeah, that phrase, special people, that's the spark, isn't it? That just sets everything off.
Okay.
So what we're diving into today, it's based on this really powerful first-person account. It's from a woman, let's call her Renady, or Mrs. Richter. And she details this like 3-year ordeal, just devastating family financial exploitation. It's quite a story.
And our goal here, it's not just to, follow a sad story. We want to really pull apart the tactics. How does this kind of abuse actually work?
Exactly. And look at the sheer financial cost to her, to Mrs. Richter, and then map out the legal battle the defense needed when someone like her finally says enough and tries to get their life back.
Almost like a playbook for defending yourself, isn't it?
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
Because the background is crucial. For 3 years, Renady was basically just an open wallet for her son, Max, and her daughter-in-law, Lena.
So the whole relationship was just money.
Pretty much defined by that financial dependence. And it inevitably led to her being totally shut out emotionally.
Okay, before we even get into the emotional side, let's talk numbers. Because you really need to understand the scale of this sacrifice right up front.
Yeah, the figure's quite something.
Over those 3 years, the total support that Max and Lena basically took from her retirement, her late husband's inheritance, it was over $33,400.
$33,400.
Just think about that. That's someone's financial safety net just gone, used against her, really.
And seeing that number first is so important because it gives real weight to the psychological damage that came later.
Right. So let's unpack how this $33,400 broke down. Because it wasn't just like random gifts here and there. She was funding their entire life.
That's absolutely right. I mean, she paid their rent every single month, $500 a month for 3 straight years.
Okay, so $500 times 36 months, that's $18,000 right there, just on rent.
Just rent. But then add everything else, lifestyle stuff. Renady bought them their living room furniture, a $1,200 set.
Wow.
She estimated about $7,200 for food, groceries, supplies over that time. And maybe the most, symbolic part. She gave Lena $800 towards her wedding dress.
Oh, the wedding dress she didn't get to see her wear at the actual wedding.
Exactly.
I keep picturing that other dress. The pale pink one Renady bought for herself cost her $200 just hanging there unused. It's such a symbol of that broken expectation,
It really is. And the way she found out wasn't even private. It was seeing pictures on social media.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Confirming Max's lie about it being just the two of them. The photos were right there. Lena's parents, her siblings.
Yeah.
They were the special people at the wedding she was deliberately kept away from.
That kind of public humiliation, that realization you're just disposable, that must have been the thing that finally snapped years of just going along with it.
It seems like it. And what's really telling is how fast Max and Lena reacted when the money stopped. They sensed the shift immediately.
How quickly?
Just 7 days. 7 days after she found out about the wedding, Lena calls her, suddenly frantic.
Why?
Because the rent was overdue. $1,000, 2 months worth. Renady hadn't made the automatic transfer, and bam, the system flagged it.
And that phone call, that was it, wasn't it? The moment she knew she had to change things.
That was her moment of clarity, and she actually used Lena's own cruel words right back at her. Just said very calmly, Lena, didn't I warn you that I only help special people?
Oof. Powerful, turning their own weapon back on them.
It really was. It marked the end of the transaction, because that's what it was. For years, Renady said she felt like she was walking on eggshells. Always afraid of losing her son's love, which she started to think was just tied to her checkbook.
Can we dig into that a bit? That feeling, she said she tried to be indispensable, but they just saw her as dispensable. How does mixing up love and money like that really mess with your head?
Well, the biggest casualty is usually your own judgment, your self-trust.
Yeah.
She'd spent years convincing herself that if she just kept giving, kept sacrificing financially, she'd get affection back.
Yeah.
The wedding proved that whole deal was a sham. It wasn't just the $33,400 she lost. She realized she'd kind of lost herself trying to buy into this illusion of family. An illusion they were happy to maintain as long as the checks cleared.
But finding that out, as horrible as it was, that gave her the strength to fight back.
Absolutely. That pain fueled this incredible resolve. She went straight into, tactical defense mode.
And step one was?
Straight to the bank. Saw Mr. Klein, the manager, canceled every single automatic payment to them. Just cut it off.
Yeah.
Cold turkey.
Wow. Okay, so the money flow stops. What did Max and Lena do then? Did they try to talk, apologize, anything, or just escalate?
Straight escalation, straight for the jugular, really, which tells you a lot about financial abuse, doesn't it?
It does. What happened?
They showed up at her house almost immediately. And get that, they used the keys she'd given them, just walked in.
Unbelievable.
And they weren't alone. They brought a lawyer with them, Dr. Fisher, a family law specialist.
So right away, it's legal threats.
Yeah.
Coercion. What was the angle? What were they trying to do legally?
It's the nuclear option in these situations, sadly. They went for incompetence.
Incompetence. Her.
Yeah. Max started saying things like, "We're worried about your mental well-being." Claiming her decision to cut off the money was strange behavior. They even said episodes of confusion are normal at your age.
Oh, that's low. Using her age against her.
It's textbook.
Aw.
And Lena just spilled out the motive, cold as ice. She actually said, "Everything you have will belong to us one day anyway. We're just speeding up the process."
Chilling. Just speeding up getting her inheritance by having her declared mentally unfit.
Exactly. They wanted the court to appoint Max as her guardian. Take control of everything, her money, her life.
That's terrifying. Guardianship abuses. It strips you of everything. So Renady needed serious help. Fast.
She did, and she got it.
Yeah.
She hired Mr. Weber, an expert specifically in protecting elderly people from this kind of thing.
Good. What were his first moves?
Document everything. Nail down that exact figure, the $33,400, as proof of the exploitation.
Yeah.
And then, practical steps. Change all the locks immediately. Install security cameras. No more unauthorized entries.
Smart. Secure the perimeter. But of course, when you protect yourself like that.
The abusers twist it. They called it paranoia. And they used those very security measures against her in their next move.
Which was?
They involved the government. They reported her to the Office of Senior Services, sending a social investigator, a Mrs. Schmidt, to her house.
Based on what?
Based on lies. They reported significant changes in your financial behavior, meaning she stopped giving them money and cited the new locks and cameras as proof of paranoia.
Wow. Turning her self-defense into symptoms, that takes a certain kind of calculation.
Deep calculation. It's designed to undermine her credibility and make her look unstable.
So how did Renady handle having a government investigator show up because of these false reports? That must have been incredibly stressful.
It was, but she followed her lawyer's advice perfectly. Mr. Weber told her, "Do not answer any substantive questions without me present."
Okay.
So she was polite but firm with Mrs. Schmidt. Refused to get drawn into discussing her finances or her mental state. Said her lawyer needed to be there.
And that worked.
It shut down that particular attempt immediately. It showed she was clear-headed, aware of her rights, and not easily intimidated. It basically stopped that line of attack cold.
So the next step was the actual lawsuit then, for guardianship based on mental incompetence.
Yes, they filed formally. Max and Lena officially petitioned the court to declare her incompetent and appoint Max as her legal guardian.
While that's going on, Renady must have needed support. Who does she turn to?
Well, building that support network was critical. Her neighbor, Eleanor Brooks, turned out to be a key ally. Eleanor had gone through something similar, apparently.
Oh, wow. That kind of validation must have been huge.
Immense. Just knowing you're not alone, you're not crazy. But maybe the harder truths came from her sister Diana, who lived in Chicago.
What did Diana reveal?
Painful stuff. Diana confirmed that Max, while he never really spoke about his mother with any warmth or affection, he basically saw her as a service provider.
Ouch. A service provider.
Yeah. And worse, Diana said Lena was already talking about Renady in the future tense, like openly waiting for her to pass away to get the inheritance.
Oh, that's awful. Realizing you're not seen as a person, just like an ATM with legs, as the source put it, or a $100,000 obstacle standing between them and their future money.
Devastating. Absolutely devastating. But again, that awful clarity probably hardened her resolve for the legal fight ahead. She knew exactly what she was up against.
And the lengths Max and Lena went to, it wasn't just talk, was it? They actively tried to manufacture evidence for the lawsuit.
Oh yeah, the manipulation was quite something. There's a real lesson in how far abusers will go. They went after her pharmacist, Mr. Green.
Her pharmacist? How?
They tricked him. They gave him some statement to sign about her supposedly having irregular medication purchases. They lied, told him it was just a routine form for insurance or something.
So they leveraged his trust to create a false record suggesting instability.
Exactly. Exploiting existing relationships to build their fake case. They did something similar with a neighbor, too, Mr. Davis.
What did they do with him?
Seems he was maybe a bit disgruntled about something minor. They twisted his ordinary observations, like seeing the security cameras being installed into testimony, painting Renady as paranoid.
So seeing her friend's visit became evidence she was letting strangers in.
Yep, they were building this narrative brick by brick. She's confused, she's isolated, she's paranoid. Look, here's proof.
And they even used her refusal for one specific evaluation against her.
Right. Initially, she declined one doctor's assessment, which is perfectly legal. They spun that as, see, proof of mental decline. She's refusing help.
Just relentless distortion. How did her team fight back against this fabricated evidence?
With facts. The key was getting an independent, objective evaluation. That's where Dr. Moore came in.
Dr. Moore, what did that evaluation show?
It was thorough, forensic, and completely blew their case apart. Dr. Moore found Renady's cognitive function was well above average. Excellent mental state. No confusion, no paranoia, just a competent adult under attack.
Okay, so now her defense had actual medical proof to counter all the gossip and lies.
Precisely. They were ready for court, armed with the truth.
Which brings us to the trial itself. The source paints a picture. Max and Lena show up looking like they're at a funeral.
Yeah, a really stark image, isn't it? Like they were just waiting for the inevitable outcome they expected. Morbid expectation, really.
So how did the trial play out? What were the key moments?
It was really a contrast in styles. You had Lena apparently trying manipulative tears on the stand. And then you had the factual professional testimony from Renady's side. Mr. Weber, her lawyer, was brilliant. He put Max on the stand and just walked him through the numbers.
Making him admit the money.
Making him confirm, under oath, the $33,400. Making him admit that almost none of his visits involved anything but asking for or getting money.
Exposed the transactional nature of it all.
Completely. Then you had Dr. Moore presenting the flawless medical results.
Yes.
And crucially, testimony from ordinary people in her life.
Like her friends.
Her Garden Club friends, yes. And Mr. Summer, the local hardware store owner. People who saw her regularly, interacted with her normally. They all testified to her clarity, her rationality, her stability.
Building a picture of a normal, competent person.
Exactly. Countering the narrative of paranoia and confusion. But the real peak, the climax, was Renady testifying herself.
What did she say? How does she explain her actions?
She looked right at Judge Miller and just laid it out. She said, and this is powerful, what I was getting from them was not love. It was a commercial transaction disguised as a family relationship.
Wow. Just calling it what it was.
With total clarity. The clarity of someone who'd finally faced the really hard truth and wasn't afraid to speak it anymore. She reclaimed her own story right there.
And the judge? How did Judge Miller rule?
Decisively. He completely denied Max and Lena's request for guardianship. Found Renady in full possession of her mental faculties.
Vindication.
Total vindication. And he went further. He stated pretty clearly that the lawsuit seemed motivated by financial interest rather than by genuine concern. The court saw right through it.
So she won. She actually won.
She won back her life, not just the case. The aftermath sounds genuinely joyful. She talks about the silence of freedom.
What did she do with that freedom?
She sold the house, the one they kept walking into. She moved, started traveling, took art classes. And importantly, she donated money to organizations that specifically help protect elderly people from family financial abuse, turning her pain into protection for others.
That's incredible. And what happened to Max and Lena?
Consequences finally hit home. They had to move out of the place she'd been paying for into a smaller apartment. And apparently, for the first time in years, they both had to get jobs.
Reality check, courtesy of the court. So, wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here? What did Renady learn and what should we learn?
Well, Renady's big realization, the core lesson, sounds quite profound. She said something like, loneliness by choice is actually better than loneliness surrounded by people who don't love you.
That hits hard. Choosing solitude over toxic connection.
Yeah. She learned her financial independence. Her autonomy was worth fighting for no matter how ugly the fight got.
And for you listening, this story really serves as a kind of, well, a cautionary tale, but also a practical guide. It screams how vital it is to think critically.
Absolutely. And to set really firm boundaries. If you suspect your love or affection is being used to get at your money, don't ignore the red flags.
It shows you need backup, expert documentation like Mr. Weber did with the $33,400. You need legal help that knows this specific area, elder law, and you need supportive people around you who aren't involved in the transaction.
Definitely. And maybe the biggest thing, don't confuse being needed financially with being loved personally. They are not the same thing.
A crucial distinction.
And Renady herself reflected later that maybe just maybe, Max and Lena finally learned something valuable about honest work and independence because they were forced into it by losing her support.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on, doesn't it?
I think so. It's this. When a relationship, especially a family one, blows up this badly over money, when there's a court battle, public exposure of greed, that level of betrayal, can you ever truly rebuild?
Even if the abusers are forced to change, get jobs, act responsibly, is that original connection permanently broken? Or is genuine reconciliation ever possible after such deep financial malice?
That's the question, isn't it? Is the damage just too deep?
Something to definitely mull over. Thank you for diving deep into this really compelling story of justice and reclaiming one's life.